Hey everybody, Melissa here, the Unlikely Hiker. Out here tonight camping in my backyard, and I thought I would take the opportunity to tell a couple stories about crazy animal encounters that I've had over the years. I can't say that I've had a ton of animal encounters, but the ones I've had have actually been pretty memorable. One day while driving through the Green Mountain National Forest in southern Vermont, I was kind of cruising down some of the Forest Service roads, and I come around this bend, and right in the middle of the road, there's this huge moose. We both really startled each other, and it was kind of crazy. I slammed the brakes on, and we're both just kind of staring at each other. And I don't think I have the picture anymore. If I can find it, I'll show you. I took a picture of this moose or a video, and it just went trotting off the other side of the trail. I mean, I was very close to this moose. It wasn't scary. We both just definitely startled each other, but that was the first time I'd ever seen a moose. So that was definitely really cool and very memorable. But that wasn't the only time I ran into a moose. Last summer in Colorado, when I got stuck at 12,300 feet in a storm, the next morning I get up early, I'm hiking out, I gotta meet my friend. I'm just really determined, kind of got my head down, just hiking. And all of a sudden I look up, and out of a stand of trees jumps this absolutely enormous bull moose. There's a bull moose right over there. It just ran in front of me. Hi, bull moose. That thing is enormous. That scared the actual crap out of me. We stared at each other. I was absolutely terrified because I didn't know what to do in the event of a moose coming after me. You always learn about what to do with a bear or maybe even a mountain lion, but I didn't know what to do. What am I gonna do if it comes after me? There really was nowhere for me to go. Thankfully, he didn't want anything to do with me. Probably was about 25 feet away from me, very close, way too close for comfort. And this moose just continued down into the valley below. So thankfully, he didn't bother me, I didn't bother him, he went on his way. Afterwards, a friend of mine who is an experienced thru hiker did tell me you really want to put something like a tree in between you and the moose. In this particular instance, that really wasn't an option, so I'm definitely thankful that nothing happened. Also in Colorado last year, hiking down the trail, minding my own business, and there's a lot of these low-lying shrubs all over the place. Out of the shrubs comes barreling these two marmots, one chasing right after the other, rolling out onto the trail like two little clowns, and they both see me and they're like, oh my gosh, what do we do? It's a human. One of them darts off like the guilty sibling into the shrubs, and the other one is just standing there staring at me like, I didn't do it. I don't know what to do. He was so cute, but they were actually adorable. I really love marmots. They're all over the trail out there, and the way they just yell at you from, up on a rock or a cliff or something, they're just so funny to watch. Really entertaining, and I definitely appreciated that moment in time as a little distraction. I have had a few bear encounters. A handful of years ago when I was hiking down from Harvey Mountain with a few friends of mine, we're going down this trail, more of a truck trail than a hiking trail, and this bear comes barreling out from the left-hand side of the trail, just kind of sees us and then just bolts. Not a big bear, kind of small, but cute nonetheless, and man, that thing wanted nothing to do with us. Definitely startled us, but he just took off. Definitely adorable. That was the first time I had ever run into a bear on the trail. But this year, when I was hiking the Taconic Crest Trail, after a very long, grueling day with a very heavy pack and extra water, I get near the summit of Berlin Mountain, and I found a spot off in the woods to pitch my tent. So I get my pack off, I put everything down, putting the tent up, and lo and behold, Ruby starts losing her mind. And I look up, and no more than 30 feet from me is this absolutely massive black bear. I was definitely terrified. This thing was not afraid of my dog. It was not afraid of me. I'm yelling at this thing. It doesn't care. It's just sniffing around and looking, and I'm yelling, "Hey bear, get out of here," clapping my hands and everything. And Ruby is just going nuts. She is going postal, to the point where now I'm afraid that Ruby is going to get attacked from the bear because she won't stop being the aggressor. Now the bear was not aggressive. However, the bear was not scared, and that's what scared me. After a short amount of time, the bear starts moving away from me, but it's still way too close. At this point, it's probably like 50 or so feet from me, and I finally get Ruby to come back to me. I put her leash on her, and I text my friend, and he said, "Yeah, you know, the bears around here, they're not afraid of people, they're not afraid of dogs." And I said, wow, I wish I would have known. Thankfully, I did find a tree that was tall enough and had the right kind of branch so I could hang my food appropriately. I did not cook my food anywhere near my tent. I cooked up on the summit of the mountain. I even took my backpack and I strapped it and clipped it to a tree. And in the middle of the night, that bear came back, and I heard it messing with my pack, and I saw this huge bear-shaped shadow going across my tent. All I could think is, oh dear God, I hope Ruby does not hear that thing, because she was going to be shredding my new Dyneema tent. This bear was absolutely enormous, probably about 500 pounds, and I just would have made a perfect little bear burrito. Again, the bear was not aggressive, but I was still really scared, just because I was uncomfortable with the fact that it was so habituated and didn't seem to care about what I was doing there. I just kept trying to remember to myself, this is the bear's house, you're the visitor, it's okay, it's not aggressive, it wasn't charging me, nothing, not snorting, not doing anything, just being a bear. But that definitely was very terrifying. There was another point where I think I saw a bear, but I'm not actually sure what I saw. It was April, and I was up in the Adirondacks, and I was hiking up to this lean-to. It was only like a mile, maybe a mile and a half from the road. So I actually had hiked in twice, and I brought 2 different packs, and I had like all this food. I was making a nice meal, and it was me and my Pyrenees that I had at the time. His name was Murphy, and we were just having a good time. And there were still little patches of snow here and there, but most of the snow had melted. There still was some ice on the trails, so I did have micro spikes with me, and I'm sitting there just relaxing. The sun's starting to go down, and I was eating, I'll never forget this, I was eating tuna fish and guacamole in the lean-to. Not smart. And I start to hear this noise, and whatever it was big, but the vegetation was so thick I couldn't actually even see what it was. But it was just really scary because I felt like this thing was stalking me, and my dog Murphy was, he turned Cujo. And anyone that knows anything about Pyrenees, they are livestock guardian dogs. These dogs are bred for protection. And he was gonna do that come hell or high water. The snarls that were coming out of him were just unbelievable. But I couldn't see what was walking around behind the lean-to. I could hear it. It sounded really big. I had a decision to make. The sun was going down. I was not gonna be able to hike out safely really once the sun completely went down. I had 2 packs, a dog, a pair of micro spikes, and something that I felt like was stalking me. So I carried those 2 packs, I put my micro spikes on, I gathered everything, got my dog, made sure he was on a leash correctly, and started hiking out. That thing was following me, whatever it was, out of the lean-to, down the trail, and that night I slept in my car. It was pretty crazy. To this day, I don't know if it was a bear, was it a Sasquatch? I have no clue what this thing was. All I know is it was big, and it was around me. It was very close. I could hear it, and it was just going back and forth and back and forth. It was nuts. It was actually nuts. To this day, I don't know what it was. Now, obviously, spring bears can be very dangerous. I had no business eating tuna and guacamole in the lean-to. Absolutely none. That was just a really bad choice on my part. So those are the crazy animal encounters that I have had on the trail so far. Have you ever had any animal encounters out on the trail? Let me know in the comments, because I'm curious. You know, here in the East Coast, you've got black bears. You know, you might run into some raccoons, possums. You know, there's a lot of other animals, but you might see their tracks, but you're really not going to see them. The bears and the moose would be the big ones, but you know, what have you come across? You know, what's happened to you? I hope you got some entertainment out of this video. If you did, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you like videos about hiking, backpacking, camping, and crazy animal stories. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys out on the trail. Bye-bye.